Advancements in computing power are forcing us to confront a statistical probability about our reality, famously structured as a trilemma by philosopher Nick Bostrom. The trilemma states that one of three things must be true. Prong 1, humanity goes extinct before reaching a posthuman stage capable of running massive simulations. Prong 2, advanced civilizations survive, but lose all interest in simulating their ancestors. If those first two prongs are false, the third is unavoidable. We are almost certainly living inside a computer simulation right now. The instinctive professional reaction to this probability is global skepticism. Historically, philosophers have viewed the brain in a vat scenario as the ultimate nightmare, a state of existence where all human perception is a total illusion. But if the mathematics dictate that our universe is computed, does that automatically mean our entire reality is a deluded lie?
We have updated the ancient philosophical fear of Descartes' evil demon with modern digital architecture, assuming that both machines exist simply to deceive us. Philosopher David Chalmers argues this assumption, that a simulated reality equals a total loss of reality, is incorrect. To understand why, we have to distinguish between two concepts. A skeptical hypothesis is a scenario that falsifies most of our beliefs about the world. A metaphysical hypothesis is a scenario that simply reveals the underlying architecture of reality. Chalmers makes a specific claim. The matrix hypothesis is strictly a metaphysical one, not a skeptical one. Even if you are a brain in a vat, your reality is perfectly real, and your beliefs about the external world are entirely true. We can construct the universe layer by layer from first principles to prove this, starting with the computational hypothesis. This states that underneath quarks and electrons lies a fundamental level of pure binary bits. This hypothesis does not mean physical objects disappear. Electrons and protons still exist. They are simply composed of bits, much like molecules are composed of atoms. Next, we add the creation hypothesis. Physical spacetime was designed by beings exterior to our known universe. Whether this creator is a deity or a programmer is irrelevant. Our local reality remains valid and intact. Finally, we add the mind-body hypothesis. Our cognition is located outside the physical spacetime grid, but interacts with it seamlessly. This maps to Cartesian dualism. Your mind operates independently, sending and receiving signals. None of these three hypotheses individually negate the existence of physical objects or your conscious experience. They simply define a different structural architecture for the universe. Now, combine the computational, creation, and mind-body hypotheses into a single unified framework. The resulting parameters are clear. We have an isolated cognitive system interacting with an artificially designed computational spacetime. This combined framework is the exact literal definition of living in the matrix. If accepting the three metaphysical hypotheses does not destroy reality, and those three hypotheses equal the matrix hypothesis, the deduction holds. Living in a simulation does not destroy reality. This is where the hardest counterargument arrives. If an invatted brain thinks, I am in Tucson, but is actually floating in a dark lab somewhere else, isn't that brain massively deluded? The solution relies on causal semantic reference. When an invatted being perceives this specific environment, their concept of Tucson does not refer to the biological, physical Tucson of the outer world. Their concept refers directly to virtual Tucson. This virtual Tucson is a specific, consistent entity constituted entirely by computational patterns of bits. Because the being successfully interacts with it, their statement, I am in Tucson, is 100% correct within their causal environment. We can observe the exact difference by looking at a partial skeptical hypothesis. What if you were only plugged into the simulation yesterday? Under the recent matrix hypothesis, if you are suddenly dropped into a virtual Las Vegas, your belief that you are in Las Vegas is false. Your memories and language are anchored to the physical world, not the virtual one. As long as a conscious being's entire historical reality is generated by the simulation, their beliefs about their environment are true. Their words refer to virtual objects that genuinely exist as data. When did history begin? Could the world have been recently created with intact memories? Bertrand Russell's recent creation hypothesis suggests that if a simulation started recently, our beliefs about the past are false but beliefs about present physical objects remain entirely true. Does a virtual chair or apple lack realness simply because it is rendered by a computer? Under the principle of implementation independence, it does not matter how the computation is physically implemented. It could run on quantum fields, on silicon chips, or a substrate beyond our comprehension. Any abstract computation with enough causal structure to perfectly simulate physics is genuine physical reality for the minds experiencing it. Human beings have never had access to the true intrinsic nature of the universe anyway. Science and perception only reveal the causal structure of the world, how objects interact and how they affect us. They cannot reach the Kantian limit to reveal what the thing in itself actually is at its base layer. A simulation hypothesis merely fills in that blank. It specifies that the thing in itself is a computer process. It supplements our current understanding of physics. It doesn't contradict it. Our everyday macroscopic experience of the world, the manifest image, is highly resistant to being falsified by underlying metaphysics. If tomorrow we receive definitive mathematical proof that we are living in a simulation, we should not abandon our belief in reality. Reality remains exactly as real, as solid, and as meaningful as it was yesterday.